Hello and welcome to Crazy Canuck Trucking. I'm David, the Crazy Canuck, and
I'm Bridget, the Size Matters Dakotan. Together, we're going to spin some yarns about trucking. These will be real stories, some true, some may be larger than life, and all will be entertaining.
we'll also try to bust some myths or answer any questions you may have about rolling across the asphalt ribbon in North America.
So please turn up the volume, tighten your seatbelts, ignore those around you, and if you're driving, please don't become one of our stories. We are 10-8. Welcome back to Crazy Canuck Trucking. We are so excited to have everybody with us today for episode 7. Can you believe it? We've been doing it for 7 of these already, David. Look at us go.
How do you like that, eh? And some people actually listen too.
And some people actually, that's right. Some people actually like us. So again, just like I tell my kids what to do, I'm going to tell everybody who's listening, please take the time to go give us a 5-star rating and keep downloading our podcast. You can do that via all sorts of platforms, which also include Apple Podcasts, or if you'd like to hear the audio on our YouTube channel, you can go get that. But all of the above, and you'll find links from us on Twitter and Instagram. And any questions or comments you can send to crazycanooktrucking@gmail.com. And David's going to make sure to follow up on those because I don't pay enough attention to follow up. He's really good at that for me.
Well, we had a couple of comments again, which is
what do we got?
Well, we have one from Knox, and he says, just listen to episode 6 on Twitter. Good show. Well done. Did he actually listen to our show? Okay.
I'm so glad. Good.
Darren is a bit of an example of a down-to-earth Nova Scotian. And remember Angel Anderson? Of course,
yes. She was episode 5, and she was great talking about when her husband had been an ice road trucker and some of the things she's been doing since he passed away.
Yeah, and Darren Anderson, who was just talked about there, was one of the guys that worked with Dale. And so Angel Anderson, she responded that she really loved the episode and she was thankful to hear more stuff from about Dale. And also she said there's a great letter from Ben. Ben was a very close friend of David's. So that's what we have for comments. Oh, there's a few others on Twitter as well, but people are liking it. And that's great to hear.
And thank you all for responding. We greatly appreciate that. And so not only downloading us, rating us, but also thank you. I think that there's a few folks that have gone out and downloaded music from Jesse James Dupree, who does our theme song, which I thought was pretty awesome too.
Oh, I love that song. So last time we talked a little bit about ELDs.
Yeah, we did.
Do you want to hear a little bit more about them?
Well, I would love to, and especially because today we are 10-2, which means we are receiving all this information super well. So please go ahead and continue.
Take a wild guess. When do you think logbooks, hours of service, was mandated in the U.S.? Take a wild
electronically or paper?
On paper.
On paper, I'm going to say it was probably 1962.
You're only off by about 30 years.
Ah, darn it, I tried. Anywho.
1938 was the first year they mandated hours of service. And only a few months later, they rolled back most of those laws. And so ever since, the logbook rules have been going back and forth and changes, and do you need to be enforced? Do they not need to be enforced? And in the 80s, it started getting they started getting more strict about it, and everybody would do it on paper. And now we talked about electronic logs, and electronic logs are actually just supposed to be exactly the same. The rules haven't changed for the logbooks. It's just done automatically for drivers now. And they also say it's much harder to cheat. Of course, none of us ever cheated, but that's what they say. And then if you look at on-duty time, I mean, if you look up on Google and look for hours of service rules, you find it's really complicated. And the electronic logs part has made life a lot easier, but also much more stringent. So it's not been totally smooth, but it helps us as drivers for sure.
I'm sort of looking forward to the discussion that, or at least the opinion of our guest today, Murray. I'd really love to hear what he has to say about logbooks, probably the transition from paper to electronic, etc. And so, Murray, I'm going to call you out. Murray Manuliak. Did I say it right? Manuliak?
Yes, you did. Murray Manuliak, yes.
Awesome. Tell us about you. Introduce yourself to us, Murray. Our listeners would like to know who's here with us today.
Well, they say I'm a professional driver. We have some doubts about that one, but we've been doing this for about 33 years. And presently driving with Bison Transport, from Brandon, Manitoba. I'm not sure what else you could say besides, we've been around a little while, okay?
How many miles? How many miles, Murray?
Well, we did a few years team riding. Probably about 4 million.
4 million.
I got 2 million miles with Bison right now, and over my lifetime, close to 4. I did team driving for about 2.5 years.
Because I know on your truck it says 2 million.
That's with Bison Transport alone.
Okay. I see some other writing on the truck. It's like you need to get a bigger truck so you can fit all your stuff on there. Now, I see a lot of Bison trucks on the road, and this is not normal. Tell me what's different about your Bison truck compared to other Bison trucks.
You have to go there. With my Bison truck, I have a decal on there that says I was Driver of the Year for TCA, which stands for Truckload Carriers Association, which is Canada and the U.S. trucking companies created an association, and I was Driver of the Year for 2016 company.
So out of how many drivers do you think there is in North America?
The applications were roughly about 1,000 or better at that time. They at least have 1,000 drivers every year that get nominated, put in applications.
And that's only the drivers that get nominated. They have to follow certain rules, right?
Yes.
So
there's criteria for all this, yeah.
1,000 are the best of the best, and you're number one in 2016.
According to them, yes, it was. Yep.
So when you say there's a lot of rules, what kind of rules are there?
Well, not rules. It's qualifications, right? So they're looking for accident-free, what you give back to the community, what you give into the industry, and I guess you'd call it the persona or whatever, your demeanor, how you work and do what you do around with the company and other people kind of thing. So, and there's a few more things. Everybody that has any military or police backgrounds, that helps them. But for me at that time we raised money for Special Olympics. And I was in-cab instructor for about 8 years with Bison Transport, teaching new drivers how to drive. Not that I know how to either, okay?
Okay, but first of all, I'm going to say congratulations on 4 million miles because that's huge. And second of all, for you to have the patience to be an in-cab trainer, because for those of us who just taught our kids how to drive, holy bejesus, man, good for you to be able to do that and have the patience. That's awesome. How many drivers do you think you trained?
That one, at the time I remember the letter that was sent in by our in-cabin, our guy that ran the department for that in-cab instructing. I was sitting at that time about 125, and I did it for another 4 more years after that.
Wow. What I want to know is how many people did you leave stranded by the side of the road?
Believe it or not, none. No, we haven't left any yet. Okay, we didn't leave any. There was a few close calls, okay, we can say that for a fact, but we did not leave anybody stranded.
Bridget, he's different.
There was close calls, okay. Yeah.
He's different from you and I. I think one of us would have left people behind.
We might have left each other at the side of the road. I don't know.
I can tell you there was times when I had to say, pull over, I need a minute.
Okay, that's
I have to get out of the truck, okay?
And hopefully not where people can hear you scream.
No, yeah, it wasn't anywhere near there. Yeah, no, but it was just, I need you to pull over now, please. And at the time it was a little loud, the voice was a little loud, but it was, you do it now, okay?
Tell us about Special Olympics.
Why?
Because
Well,
that's one of the things that, was part of your criteria why you were nominated. So, I've got some family members who are coaches and so forth. I want to know what you do, Murray.
Well, we have 3 grandchildren that are athletes.
That's awesome.
Yes. And then there was the convoy thing, right? The trucking, longest truck convoy, whatever. So the wife was interested. She said we should do it. We did it. And then from there, it went to raise money. And it's kind of blowing out of proportion. It started off as a barbecue. Now it is a barbecue with a car show, live entertainment, and God knows what else that my rest of my family thinks of. Okay.
Truck shows. Yeah, you also have trucks there.
Well, I bring the Bison truck and that, and then there's the tow trucks show up. There a couple of those guys show up, whatever. Yes, but that'll be maybe the addition eventually. But it's like, oh my God! Thank God the wife is well organized at this stuff. Okay.
Hey, that's right. Give credit where credit's due. You guys are a team event.
Exactly. Yep.
She's helping with it. It's benefiting other family.
I do a few little things. The wife does the rest. Okay.
That's awesome. That is really very awesome.
She gets it together. Okay. Yes. If it wasn't for her, I don't know. It wouldn't probably happen either.
And Murray's not going to make a big deal about this, but I'm going to mention it. But more than once, he and his wife have been the ones that have raised the most money for Special Olympics for that year.
So is that Special Olympics Manitoba or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. No, Manitoba. Yep.
Okay.
World's Largest Convoy, Manitoba.
Yep.
So yeah, I know of at least 2 years. I think, right, Murray?
Yeah, I think I had the lead truck. I think 2 years in a row. 2 years, yeah, something like that. Over the time we've been doing this for about 5 years, we've raised almost $30,000 to $35,000 alone.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Yes.
The 4 million miles was good, but I think the money for Special Olympics is even better.
Oh, yes, it's much better. Yes. Yep. Definitely. Yep.
One other thing, he also represented Manitoba at the National Truck Driving Championships.
And where was that? And when was that? And how did you do?
Well, see, I won first place in Manitoba. That was, Jesus Christ, when was that one?
That was 2016.
It's been, what, 5 years already?
2016.
It was 2016, yes. Great, it was that same year, yeah.
Way to go, Dave, the personal assistant.
That was, where was it held? That was in Ontario.
Ontario or Quebec?
No, it was in Ontario.
Ontario, yeah.
And that was around the Hamilton area, but not quite. There's hold on here.
Waterloo.
No. Burlington. Nope, not Burlington. No, not Burlington. It's on the 403. Wayne Gretzky's from. Where's Wayne Gretzky from?
Yeah, Burlington. He's
from Burlington?
Yeah. Burlington Skyway is the 403.
Yes. Okay, but anyways, it was around that area that because there was the airport, there was Wayne Gretzky driveway, or is the street that was named after him. But that's where we were. So out of that aspect, yes. So So there's one from every province. You know, there was 6 or 7 of us in Super Bs, and my first time there, and I placed third.
Third in Canada.
That's
And
awesome.
that was the last year that we had a national championship.
Okay.
Correct.
So after
Yep.
Murray was there, they shut it down. They said that's enough.
No more.
Mhm,
Murray's
yep.
been here.
Unfortunately, after that, that's when Dave started winning first place, and he hasn't had the opportunity to go, and I don't think that'll ever happen, unfortunately.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I know.
But
Yeah.
Okay, so
It was a
I
good
need to-
experience.
that would have been a great experience, because now I have 2 more questions. And that is, 1, what kind of truck were you driving? Because everybody's going to want to know that. And 2, what was the competition like? What kind of things did you have to do?
Okay, well, the truck at that time was a day cab Peterbilt, and it had a standard. It wasn't an automatic.
Okay.
And it had a set of, what was it? Super Bs. They were Home Depot trailer, or they were Super Bs, but van type, I think. I can't remember now. So out of the competition, then, yes. What did we do? We had start off. I remember everything, pretty much what we always do in Manitoba, but it's okay. You have it's called a clover leaf. So there's 4 barrels. You got to drive through it like a clover leaf, but you have an outside boundary you can't cross. Otherwise, you get points off of you on that, and you can't hit the barrels. So then there was from that you go to a right-hand turn. Then there was, it's called an offset alley. We did. What else did we do?
Diminishing clearance.
Yes, the diminishing clearance. Yes, that was there too. So you have your
Lights.
flags on each
Flags.
side, and they start off at 2 inches on each side, and they go down to no more than 1 inch from the vehicle on each side.
Let me tell you right now how many people could not pass this with their tiny cars, much less you guys doing it with your semis. And I said semi because I live in North Dakota, not a semi. But yes, congratulations again, because a lot of people can't do that with their car.
Then the last thing is you got the stop sign where you have to put your front bumper, the center of it, right in the middle of a bullseye.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Yes.
You know how they make this course, Bridget? They set up the course, and they have kind of idea of how tight they need to make it. And then they take the truck around, and they shrink it down until it's almost impossible to make.
Right. It's at the very last. You have to be right on the money in order to do it.
You don't win by inches. You win by whiskers.
Absolutely. Yep. I've driven a course like that with a pickup. So I get a feel for what you guys are saying, but holy cow, wow, you're doing it with trailers.
2 trailers.
Well, actually with Super B trailers. So that's
true. With the 2.
Super Bs. Yep. So Murray and I, we go into the Super B competition instead of the regular single
just for
trailer.
challenge.
Yeah.
Just for the challenge. I like that.
Yeah. Challenge and have fun. Okay.
Yeah. It's a good time, and then we get a good banquet afterwards.
Yes.
Even better.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
So we were going to talk a little. We were going to talk a little bit about. David had mentioned earlier about electronic logs and about what it was like to have the paper logs and so forth. And in our last podcast, I asked our guest then what he thought of the transition. And so I'm going to ask Murray the same thing. What do you think about that transition of going from paper to electronic? Is it better for you as a driver?
Well, it was challenging to get used to going from paper to electronic logs. I can tell you there's some days I wish I had paper because you can get a sharper pencil. Okay. Dave will understand that comment. A lot of other people's if you keep it, okay? The only good part about it is with electronic logs, I don't have to use a pencil to write on that paper all the time, okay? It's much easier for me to do what I have to do to go on duty, off duty, just hit a button. I don't have to draw a line, write down the name of the city, the mileage, and everything else. I save on the writing hand, okay?
Good idea.
All I can say right now, politely, okay, you want to record this.
how do you find it now? Like I look at electronic logging devices as computers, right? So in the beginning,
Yes.
computers were junk, you know, and over time they've gotten better to where a phone has more computing power than Apollo 13 did. You know,
Mhm.
so
Oh, yeah.
how is it now with the electronics for you with Bison? Is it pretty easy? Do they have the all the bugs worked out of them?
Yes, we do. Well, actually, to be specific right now, I'm going to use the terminology. I'm a test monkey, but I'm testing out a new device, the Isaac, which is based out of Montreal, on Quebec.
Can I say how glad
So-
I am you didn't say test dummy, Murray? Because that would have been terrible. So I'm glad you said maybe
Yeah,
just
no,
a
no,
test
no, no.
monkey.
I don't use the dummy part. I'm a
Okay.
monkey. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay. Yep. No. Okay. Okay. So normally, yes,
Worry about
with
Saturday.
our Omni tracks, we're doing they're pretty good, right? But yes, each year, each device is getting better and better, but and there's always still bugs because it's a computer, okay. But they've got all the laws put in there, whereas with paper, everybody had to know them, and if you didn't, you got talked to a lot.
Yeah. So before you'd show up at a scale, and they'd have to page through and see if they can find violations.
Well, yeah, they knew the
Nowadays,
basic, but if they
Yeah.
nowadays it tells them it's like right there. They know what they're looking
Instant.
for, and
Sure.
it's instant now. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Now it's like shows red. Nope, you're in violation. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, then he'll look as to why exactly what you did wrong because it'll tell them. Yes.
Mhm.
Before you could pull in with a paper log and you could make it look kind of good, but it would be, you knew the guy had to have patience to go through it all to find stuff wrong.
Right.
Oh, yes. You could always make it look very good. If you had a chance, an opportunity. Before I came to Bison, I worked for a company that holds a lot of fertilizer. You'll know them as the Big Red Army. You remember that, Dave?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when that season came along, which was spring and fall, you couldn't use the excuse that you were out of hours because you got introduced to a new driver and it was a new logbook. So you had 30 days that you drove straight with nonstop, whatever you were doing, whatever. So by the time you were done, you probably usually had about 3 logbooks going at the same time.
So what did you call yours, Murray Ann? You just call
I
it
just called them the other
Murray.
idiots.
Murray too.
Yeah. Murray and Murray 1 and Murray 2. Yeah. Something like that. You have to remember which one you're grabbing so that you could
Yes.
make it look good. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget that when you get asked to get inspected, that you remember to pull out the right Murray. Not the Murray
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah. Or he's off this week.
So
he worked too hard the last 7 days.
So as I've listened to you talk, I've heard you talk about a couple of different things, the Super Bees, Holland fertilizer. So I'm going to make the leap here that you have had a number of different trailers, whether we're talking vans, flatbeds, hopper bottoms, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what's your favorite trailer to pull, and what's been your favorite thing to haul? Because that could be 2 different things.
Yes, it is. It's 2 different things there. Yes, and that one. Okay. Favorite trailer to haul? Well, geez, I've hauled several different ones. Okay. Right now, I pull singles, like vans and reefers. I like the reefers because it's a different work ethic altogether. But that I would do all the time, I still like the Super Bees and the grain trailers because it was actually physical work once in a while. Okay.
Okay.
Doing these other ones, right? Dry van, whatever I do now. You can ask Dave too. He probably doesn't do as much physical work as he used to. Neither do I.
Today, buddy. I do.
Oh yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. You stood there and watched them too, didn't you?
I had to get in a trailer today.
Oh, well, see, I like my
I
company.
mean, I
I
had to
just
get
stand
in.
there
I
and
didn't
watch
say I had
them.
to do
Okay?
anything. But I got in.
Yeah, see, I was right. Yeah. You just stood there and watched them. I didn't say where you stood, though.
That's right.
So now that you've given that much information, what's the favorite thing for you to haul, though?
Huh. That is a very good question.
Well, you're thinking, did you ever haul anything that would go boom?
Well, hell yeah. I did that with the Red Army, okay?
Yep.
Ammonia nitrate. I did the farm grade and the stuff that went straight to the mines and the coal mines in Wyoming.
That's what I was just going to ask you, is where you were hauling to,
That-
but you were hauling to coal mines.
Yeah, that wasn't very, you were talking, we had, because it was an 8-train configuration, so it was about 36 metric ton. All it needed was the diesel fuel.
Yep.
Otherwise, we were a rolling bomb, the
Yep.
big one.
We used to tell that to rookies. Okay, you have a load of fertilizer that can go boom if diesel is added to it. You're pulling it with a diesel truck. And we're just like,
Yeah.
like, no, it doesn't
Well,
work.
that was the
way.
farm grade, yeah. The 4200, but then we hauled the actual. I actually hauled the liquid version of it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It wasn't hot. That was really weird stuff because it had to stay at 400 degrees Fahrenheit in order to stay in liquid form.
How did you do that?
They were round. They were liquid trailers, but they were insulated. And
Okay.
this stuff is really heavy once it's turned into liquid. And yeah, the
We're on heat to
it's
it,
coke
right?
now, but they blew steam into it, steam heat. They steamed the trailers up to 450 degrees, and then we closed the lid and then we pumped the product into it.
So when you say liquid trailers, for those who might not be familiar what that looks like, are you thinking like a trailer that would haul, say, milk or gasoline, or more of like
Yes.
an anhydrous trailer? Okay.
No. Trailer I would haul like gasoline, but only it's round like that, whatever. But it's got insulated walls, like really thick insulated walls, so it's 2 trailers in one, 2 round cylinders.
First
Okay.
day with a new tongue, eh?
There you go.
yeah. Yes. So that would be the most interesting stuff I've ever hauled.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm not saying that would be the stuff that I do. Like I like working with reefers, so food products. Okay. It's unique. It's different. Okay.
Have you ever hauled livestock?
Yes,
To either of
I
you?
have.
To both Murray and David, have either of you guys that you were talking like bull racks or pigs?
Whole pigs and bulls, goats. It's great when they walk off on their own. That's all I got to say. Okay, that's the easiest stuff you can haul up to
Right.
that point.
Oh,
They walk off and they walk on.
You ever haul sheep?
No, I didn't. Didn't have that
Imagine.
privilege. Okay.
I didn't either, but I had a guy that used to work for me that went to hauling sheep. I've hauled most livestock, but that guy told me, imagine putting your coveralls on underneath your kitchen table. That's what it's like hauling sheep. So anybody that is a little bit more like us, Murray, that's a little chubby, yeah,
Yep.
sheep is not the thing because they're short, and so you got 4 or 5 decks instead of 3. Anyway, yeah.
So, can I tell you one? I have one sheep hauling story, and that is because I know a guy who used to work at the stockyards in West Fargo years back. And the easiest way that they could load those trailers was they had a yard goat. And the goat would follow commands, believe it or not. I mean, usually goats are just a terrible pain in the ass. But this goat, they would send him up into the trailer and the sheep would follow. And then when the trailer was full, they'd call him back and that sheep would just that goat would walk across the top of the sheep and get out. And then they'd close the door and off went the truck.
Yeah.
So slick deal.
That's a slick deal, right? Yes, because sheep like to follow. Once you get them going, you got to find that leader and they'll follow. Yeah.
Then they'll follow.
I hauled range cattle. If you get them moving, stay out of the way and make sure you can get the door closed afterwards. But when you open the door at the end, when you get them off, you don't have to do anything. Just open the doors and they're like coming off.
Yeah, you get the hell out of the way. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Lots of fun.
So Murray, as a guy who's on the road well over 4 million miles now, what are things that you want other drivers to know, whether it's to other guys in trucks or people in trucks, because I know there's a lot of women that drive now, or to those of us in our passenger vehicles? What are things we should know that you want us to hear?
Remember, this
Honestly?
is a family show.
I know. So
Well, I
said I'm going to be nice. Okay.
I didn't
yes, I
ask
know.
the things he has seen in the passenger vehicles.
No,
I'm just gonna ask
no,
later.
no. I know.
Tell
That's
me
later.
what
Yes.
you, yeah, tell me what you want us to know.
I tell you a lot of things, right? But I'm not going to. Just Dave said it's a family show. And there's still a few things I'm not going to say because it's a family show. Four-wheelers will take offense on that one, all right? Get the hell out of my way. I got places to go.
Yep.
More than anything, I'd say for everybody overall, all three that you mentioned, everybody needs to have patience when you're driving. Yes, we're going to get angry, going to get upset, but you still need patience because it takes longer for a big truck to pick up speed, so people in the four-wheelers chill out for a little bit. We will get up there, think about what speed we can do. We know what speed you can do. It takes us a little longer to get up there. And that would be about the biggest thing right now, okay? It falls in the aspect of get the hell out of my way. I got places to go. Anything you add, Dave, to that one?
Oh, I think that, you know what, in these days, I've noticed since people have been back traveling, when some restrictions have been lifted from COVID, I am seeing so much road rage out there that
Yes, I know.
what you suggested, take your time, relax a little bit. I think we all need to listen to that right now. Hey.
I think so too.
Yep. Well, that was a great thing when March and April was with the big COVID and everybody was staying home. I can tell you, if you really think about it, there was less accidents on the road at that time.
Look at your shirt, Murray.
In Canada and U.S. Okay, both countries.
This is going to be cut, Murray, but look at your shirt. Please.
Oh yeah, well we got the same shirts. Look at
We
that.
got the same shirt on today.
Yeah, right
What
on.
the heck?
Good. Hey, good minds think alike, okay?
We didn't plan that.
No, hell no.
I just noticed.
I got all my shirts with me, okay? Yeah, well, you notice when I have to lean up to get...
That's funny.
Okay, so
sorry.
y'all are,
Okay.
you guys are talking about the t-shirts that you have from the World's Largest Convoy. For those of us who
Yes.
weren't there, that would be me, and your shirts are from 2018. How big was it? Where did it go? I mean, I know you used it to raise money for Special Olympics, but tell me about the convoy itself.
Well, it's okay. The convoy. Well, sorry, you go, Dave.
What did we have? 160 trucks in
Okay,
2018.
last year. Okay,
We've raised Manitoba's.
It was
raised
100.
somewhere
It was
around-
180. It was 189 registered, and I think 160 some showed up. Yes,
Yeah.
something like that.
Manitoba in 10 years has raised well over 100,000 just with that convoy. I think it was the numbers, right, Murray?
Well, okay, no. Well, see, last year we had raised. That was the highest. 2019 actually was the highest. We were somewhere around close to $80,000.
Oh,
The year that we're wearing these T-shirts at,
right.
we were about 65,000 or 68,000, something like that. Okay.
We've raised. There's been a lot of money raised by the truckers.
Yep.
And Manitoba.
It's been 10 years. 10 years. We're getting close to the $1 million mark. We haven't quite hit that, but we're close to it. Just because knowing the history of it, right? It's been around $60,000 to $70,000 for each year consistently.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So Manitoba, until the last few years, was always in the top 2 for North America as far as number of trucks.
Right.
I don't remember where we were with money raised, and we started really annoying some other trucking associations that are really large, and so they started stepping up their game. But it was us in Minnesota, I think, right? St. Paul.
I think Minnesota had the large number too. Yes, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So
To be honest.
Midwest people, right? We were kicking everybody's butt.
So where did the convoy start and stop?
You know the perimeter, right? In Winnipeg. So there's a perimeter highway that goes all the way around Winnipeg.
Oh, sure, like a beltway. Okay, yes.
Yeah. So
Yep,
we would
yep.
start at one point. It used to start in Oak Bluff, and then we go all the way around back to Oak Bluff again. And the cops would block off all the traffic. So we were the only vehicles allowed on the road. No stop signs.
Going
no
the
nothing.
one direction. Yep. We just drive right around. And it would take about an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yep.
do you know what was your distance? If you've got 168 trucks in line,
We were, the heck was
80,
it? There's a
80
several.
kilometers.
80.
Well, the speed limit was 80 kilometers, but
No,
we were roughly around 15 miles long, is what she's asking, right?
Right.
When they
Yep.
when they did all the trucks with the trailers and everything, they were anywhere from 13 to 15 miles long each year, whatever kind of thing.
Okay.
There is, by the way, YouTube videos. A lot of people always shot these convoys out there in YouTube.
Yeah.
All anybody has to do is in wherever area, like from Manitoba or Atlantic provinces or anywhere,
Only
just kind
Manitoba.
of Google.
Just look for Manitoba.
Yeah.
Just look for
Okay.
Manitoba.
All right.
Come
For
on, Murray.
Manitoba. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I start hitting the world's largest convoy, pick a year, and then everybody's pops up. Bing, ding, 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 ding. And there's lots, okay? And it's pretty cool when it does it, right? So.
It's a lot of fun. And
Yep.
we also had the opportunity to take athletes with us.
Athletes with
So-
us. Yep.
Every year except one, I took an athlete, and I didn't take an athlete in 2018 because I had my grandson with me.
Oh,
So
whether it was your grandson or in Murray's case, it's his grandkids who are also athletes, I cannot imagine how excited they were to be a part of
Well,
that convoy.
Oh,
And
they
there's
did too.
people
Yep.
lining-
And then there's
people
line
lining
up.
the roads.
And I've
Yeah,
had a
signs up.
couple of the guys from Brandon, Manitoba too, that were in my truck that were from, because each area district, right, has their own group of athletes, right? Like
Mhm.
Winnipeg's got theirs,
Yep.
Southwest and part of Manitoba, Western Manitoba's got they're called Westman, right? Dauphin has their own, like it's in just same thing in North Dakota, right? Every area has their own. So one of the athlete representatives, he's been in my truck 3 times, besides my my grandkids. Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
So, and oh yeah, and he loves it. He gets a kick out of it every time.
I bet.
Mhm.
I still get messages from athletes that have been in my truck. It's pretty cool. I like that.
Yep,
Some
it
of
is. It is. Yes.
Is the convoy typically held in conjunction with the kickoff of the Special Olympics Games?
No.
Or it's separate? Okay, so that is
It's
separate.
separate. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They hold it in September, kind of thing. And then the idea with when it's called the world's largest convoy, everybody in all the areas that they're holding it, they try to hold it on the same weekend or within the weekend of each other. So that was the idea. Okay.
So if your
You get the
convoy's at Winnipeg, how many other convoys are going on at the same time on that same weekend, would you estimate?
Well, probably at least half a dozen other ones. And then there'd be the next weekend would be the same thing, probably about 6 or 7 other areas.
Okay.
Because I know for our company, Bison Transport, we got drivers that involve out in Alberta, Manitoba, and Ontario that do this.
Now, do you know if there will be a convoy for 2020?
There's supposed to be, but they're doing a virtual thing. I haven't got all the
Okay.
details as to how they're doing it because I don't myself understand virtual.
Okay. Okay.
All I know is that they're talking about it. They want to do a virtual thing. So I'm still debating whether I'll be able to do that because we couldn't hold our fundraiser this year because of COVID-19. It was too complicated.
So perhaps a couple of things. When you know those details through the Crazy Canuck Trucking podcast, we can share that information for people who would be interested. And
Yep.
just as Murray said, go back and look at years past to watch on YouTube. And then Murray, while we're talking about this type of stuff, if people want to follow you on social media so that they could learn from you when this is going to be, what's your social media information?
Okay, we're on Facebook, and then there's Instagram, and it's Murray Heather Manuliak.
Okay.
No, Heather Murray Manuliak. Sorry, it's the wife, the boss. Okay. Yep.
Heather.
Assistant steps in again.
Heather Murray Manuliak. Yes. Okay.
Heather Murray Manuliak. And because David is like my personal assistant, he's going to put that in the show notes because then he'll get it right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I say my personal assistant, but again, this is his deal. I'm just hanging on for the ride.
Yeah. You're just hanging on the side there and enjoying and having fun with them. I got it. Yes.
Yeah, like riding on the running boards when you were a little kid and dad let you do that. So yes.
Yeah.
That was better than riding on the hood, holding onto the windshield wipers.
Far better. Yeah. And more fun than being in the back of the pickup. So yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think all three of us have been there.
Yeah, I've been there, done that. Yep. On the running board of the grain truck too. Don't worry. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not allowed to do that anymore. Something about safety.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That word safety never did come up when I was growing up. I'm not sure. Yeah.
It's like if you fell off, it's like you should have held on tighter.
But
Essentially, yes.
hell, man, we had wooden grain bins or whatever. So by the time Dad got the ladder to go up to open up the hole in the roof to put the auger in, I scaled up did the feet in the back against the two buildings, and I was up on the top of the roof, and he's like, that's where the monkey part comes from, by the way. That's why I call myself the, training monkey.
The test monkey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you get to try the new stuff out. I get it.
Oh, yeah. Even on our farm, we had the bush line right there, north side and east, east side to block off the winds. All big maples. Yeah, Murray, when he was 12 years old, he was swinging from branch to branch all the way around. A few times fell down. My mother and my grandmother would look at me, and Baba would just like, see, you know better. Yeah, do it again the next day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there was, right, no such thing as safety. You just learn things the hard way.
Look how much you've improved. I mean, you've been a driver instructor. You've gotten awards for having safe running miles. I mean, we learned all of those things early on, right?
Yes, early on, yes. Yep, you learned while you're young so that when you got older, you didn't do the stupid things. Okay, family in order, you didn't do the crazy things. Except for the crazy Canuck, he still does it.
He does.
Why he's known as the crazy Canuck, okay? I got it.
It's good to remember that. I someday I might get a shirt that says, do not annoy the crazy.
Well, they tried to annoy the crazy Canuck today, but it almost...
He got around him.
Well,
Yeah.
Murray, it's been a blast having talked
All right,
to you.
yes it was. Yeah.
And we really appreciate you taking time out of your day. And I know your ELD
Sure.
is probably screaming at you that you need to get going.
No. Murray's got just enough to get across the Canadian border into Canada here, and then I can drive the rest tomorrow morning into Winnipeg.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
ELD's working
It was
for you.
the crazy. This week was the crazy week from craziness because I left Brandon and went into Winnipeg. Then I went to Manassas, Virginia. I reloaded in Cambridge, Maryland. I took off out of there, and of course, I don't know if you have the idea about the Eastern Seaboard, but to go from Manassas, right, you got to drive around Washington, D.C., and I had to go. Cambridge was on the other side of the Bay Bridge, so on the other side of the peninsula there, which is part of Delaware. So I get loaded, I come back through Washington. It's already rush hour traffic. So I'm looking at the traffic that's piling up for the last 13 miles between the 270 and the 95 when I'm on the 495 going westbound. They get the nerve to call me because they go, the customer forgot a pallet. We need you to turn around. I'm going, okay, people, I have 2.5 hours left of my e-logs. I don't have enough time to go back to go there right now because I'm 100 miles and it's going to take me 4 hours to do. So I'm out of fuel almost, blah, blah. Can we do this in the morning? They go, yeah. Okay, great. I'll go back in the morning. So that's what I did. And then from there, I was hauling ass to get back here. Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
We've had too many of those. You know, you get
Yeah.
on the road.
So
oh, the customer forgot. Like,
yeah. So Murray had a paper logbook. I'd be in Winnipeg easily tonight, but not now. So I got to follow the e-logs.
Follow the rules.
Yeah, because otherwise the logbook would have caught up to me tomorrow, but not now. I got to follow the rules.
Murray, it has been a fun pleasure to visit with you today. I look forward to being one of your next followers at Heather Murray
Nice to
Manuliak.
meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, I got to watch out for your name, do I now? Because the wife will go, who the hell is this? And we, okay.
That chick.
just say it's somebody Dave knows, and she'll go, oh, okay.
Yeah. That'll be all right. Yep.
So to everyone who tuned in today, or whichever day you were able to listen, thank you for making it this far with us. Please contact us for any stories you may want to share. You can be anonymous if needed. Please share, give us 5-star ratings, and stay tuned for more stories. Thank you to Jesse James Dupree and Dixie Incorporated for letting us use their song, It Didn't Fall from the Sky, which, if you haven't listened to it, it's great fun. I really kind of love it. And thank you for listening to us.
Thank you to Jesse James Dupree and Dixie Inc. for letting us use their song, It Didn't Fall from the Sky. I appreciate every one of you that is listening, rating us. Please send in a story or comments. And thank you very much to our fantastic editor, Big T. You all have a great day. Be safe. 10-7.